Oh, he opens the door for me. Oh, he gets me flowers. Bare minimum. Let's hang out in my car for the entire time. Like, I know exactly what you're trying to get done in your car.
Oh my God.
I have been friends with women who have done more for me than a man has in the totality of me dating him. Old friends got in touch with me after this video started getting some attention, right? And he goes like, Tom Hardy once said, I can't stand the women, but gosh, I can't live without them. Something like that. I generally think that they think we're stupid. Fundamentally, they'll never understand what it's like to be a woman. We are constantly changing. Our hormones are all over the place. One thing goes wrong in our body and it affects our entire psychological system. Don't come and tell me I'm too complex because you lack the capacity to understand who I could be.
Shut up. I love that. Hello everyone, welcome to Decoding Quirks. I'm your host Aditi, and today we're going to be talking about the Gen Z love, the dating life in Dubai, and just generally why does it suck? We have all these apps, we have all this information. Is it like an overload of mental health information? I don't know. I'm going to figure it out. So today we have Aishwarya. Can I call you Aishwarya? Can I call you Ash? What do I call you?
I think I prefer Ash more.
Ash, okay. So welcome, Ash. Okay. I got in touch with her through Instagram. I can clearly tell that you're someone who is getting into the creative field.
Yes.
And you're talking about dating.
Yeah.
And I love that. Also, let's just get into it. What is happening in this dating market right now? Because I am seeing everyone suffering. The more choices now, the more problems maybe. I'm not sure. You tell me.
I don't think it's about choices. I just think that because it's become so accessible to talk to other people, meet new people, when you go to a store and they show you too many things, you get decision paralysis. So first, the issue was decision paralysis. Like, there are so many nicer guys out there, nicer girls out there. Who do I pick? From that, it went to, why do I need to pick? Why can't I just go ahead with everyone? So that became slowly the mentality of some people. And the other ones who go onto these dating apps for something serious, they get with these people who have completely changed their mentality towards it, right?
So these people are the casual daters.
Yes, the casual daters.
Okay.
Now, what's worse is the video that actually ended up getting the attention of you was where I shared an experience of someone I connected on who also wanted a long-term relationship. And then the moment I started talking to him, the way he was talking, the way he was engaging with me, it was very obvious that that's not what he wanted. Because who asks another girl to come over to his place to cuddle so that they can get to know each other?
Okay, wait, what the fuck? So this was the first meeting?
This was literally the first conversation on text. Hi, hello, where are you? What are you looking for? And then the moment we talk about that, I was like, yeah, let's go out on a date. Let's see what happens. He's like, oh, why do we need to go out on a date? Come over, let's cuddle. And I'm like, maybe I'll think about that if, you...
Of course.
After the date. And then he goes like, I think you get to know a lot about a person once you start cuddling with them. I'm like, that's so wrong in so many ways because...
Dude, men are still like getting the control in this entire situation.
Exactly.
How is it that there are so many apps that are women forward? There's so much knowledge out there and they're still manipulating us and men like, come home. Like, take me out, man.
Yeah.
So wait, you told him that you wanted a long-term relationship.
Yes.
Or looking at something committed.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing.
Yes.
And then his action was exactly opposite.
Exactly. I asked him point blank, you want a long-term relationship and you believe this is the best approach. He's like, I just want someone spontaneous. I was like, I'm not spontaneous enough. Unmatched. Immediately.
Wait, was he cheap? Do you think that he was cheap?
To be honest, it doesn't really... My mentality before used to be like, oh, maybe if the guy doesn't have enough money, he's going to try to find like an easier way to go about it. But then I realized it's not about if you don't have enough money. It's about lack of imagination and effort. So even if you have 10 dirhams, there are so many places where you could have an amazing 10 dirham date, If you have the mental capacity to actually hold those ideas, then you're the type of man that I would want to, be with.
Yeah.
But there are men who not only lack money, but they also lack the ability to come up with ways that they could woo a woman, I guess. with no money. Like,
Okay, so I fully understand this concept of, okay, if you have less money or no money, we can still be going out. Like,
yeah.
I guess seasons matter, but you can always go for a sport, you can play a sport, you can
Yep.
go for a walk, you can do, there are a lot of things that
Yeah.
you can do. Now, I also see that a lot of women want to be wooed in a particular way. Like, I want to
Yeah.
see that you can take me out on a first date. Forget first date, on a date.
Yeah. Bare minimum.
Bare minimum.
Bare minimum. I don't think
Yeah.
asking a man to take you out on a date to a decent place is asking for a lot. Because the moment we start saying that, there are guys who have this mentality who want to test us. What are you testing? They want to test us to see if we're gold diggers. I'm like, what gold?
Where's the gold?
Where is the gold? I'm a South Indian girlie. Trust me, I don't need your gold. Okay? I grew up with gold. Like, your gold doesn't matter to me. In fact, if you end up with me, you're the one who gets the gold.
Oh,
you know? That's the
yeah.
thing. Like, and it's always, and I so badly want to say it's the white men or it's the European culture. But no, I have received this kind of hate or attention from Indian men.
Desi.
Yeah, Desi men who think that I am dying after their properties and gold. And in all honesty, I'm like, either you think I am too broke
Yeah.
to be going out with you, because I have been on dates where the guy's like, do you want to do 50-50? I'm like, no, let's do 100% where I pay the 100% and I never have to see you again. That's it.
Exactly.
That's the whole point.
I was talking to another speaker earlier and she was telling me something about 50-50. And now I feel like this has already come up in like 3 of my podcasts, but
Yeah.
deal with it. What do you think about 50-50?
I'm going to be honest. This is not me trying to be diplomatic. This is generally me trying to tell you that we don't live in an era where people make enough, and dual income households is one of the best ways to live a comfortable life, right? But if you are a person that comes from money and you are expecting, this could be anywhere around. If a guy comes from money or makes a lot of money and he's expecting a woman who doesn't even make enough to be doing 50-50, it doesn't make sense because his 50 might be her 90 in terms of income, right? The same goes for a woman. If a woman is making 15,000 dirham, 20,000, 30,000 a month, and she's going out with a guy that makes 5,000 who's just starting his career, and she's expecting that man to pay like expensive dinners, 300 dirhams on one dinner date, that's not logical. You have to be logical in that sense, right? I think you should just go and approach people who are in a budget that you can afford to live with, right?
Yeah.
Approach the people who make the same as you, who share the same values.
But not everybody makes the same as you. I think, I mean, even in
And
our
that's
friends
fine.
group, we are all on different pay parities, right? So that could be difficult. So what I mean by the 50-50 also is that does the 50-50 just help patriarchy? If I'm going to bring in my 50 on the table, you're just bringing in 50 less. So having, like, me being independent and financially stable, isn't it just helping him?
To be honest, if we're going to talk about patriarchy, I don't think women even make as much as men.
True.
Women don't make enough. And for a man who does make enough, more than enough, to ask for a woman to pitch in 50% makes no sense. I think the ideology should be you put 50% of your income and I put 50% of my income. That's equality, if you want to talk about equality. But my entire ideology is I don't like the fact that some men go out with women who are clearly high maintenance. Very clearly they're high maintenance. They expect a certain lifestyle. They've grown up with a certain lifestyle. And they expect them to come down from that so that they can match them. Why?
And then shame the woman for not doing it.
They want to shame us. They're like, you're a gold digger. You don't want to. And I'm like, pause. This is not the right way to go about it.
This is not in your area, bro. Like,
Exactly.
It's out of
Like,
your league at this point.
Go for a woman that's in your budget and shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Literally. That's, if you want someone who is low maintenance, date someone who is low maintenance.
Yeah.
And
But they want people who are high maintenance because there's that fun element about it, right?
Mm.
People who are high maintenance, you sometimes end up going to places that are fun and
Yeah.
different. So you want the pros of the high maintenance, but you don't want
The price point. They
you
just
don't want to maintain that.
Yeah. And I think my mentality is if I was a man, if I was
I
a
love
man,
it. I don't wish I was a man. Yeah.
honestly, if I was a man, my mentality is if I was going out with someone who was clearly very high maintenance, and I think that would encourage me more to make more money rather than me telling her, hey, you should not have such high expectations from me. I don't make enough. My question would be, I should be making more so that this is never a problem.
I don't think women ever, I mean, this might be a very blanket statement, but do we ever pull men down for being too ambitious?
No, never.
Never, right?
I think it's expected of them to be too ambitious,
yeah.
which is why we have this like disparity where we're like, oh, you don't want to make more? Why? You know? But then as a woman, if we are like, oh, we want to make more, they're like, perfect, go ahead, do you. But then we're like, but we also don't want to be housewives and take care of children and quit our jobs for that. Why would you want to do that now? I'm like, you can't have it both ways. Pick one.
So I also I mean, of course, when you date someone, you need to also check that do they contribute at home, which is really
Yes.
hard to judge
Yeah.
because when you're just dating, you're
Yeah.
going out, you're going to like fun places, you're doing
Yeah.
fun things.
Yeah.
But how are they in like their household? You know,
100%. Are they the income?
can they contribute?
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm the eldest daughter in a brown household, right? So I have a lot of responsibilities to take care of my family in a way that my younger brother just does not, right? So if a guy is asking me for 50-50, I can't give 50-50 because already 30% of everything goes to my family. So I'm left with nothing at the end of the day. So if 50-50 was even the topic of discussion, I just think it's a way for a man to make the woman feel guilty that I'm doing this much and you're not nearly doing enough and you need to step up to the plate.
But what is the 50 that they bring in while we are giving
Just
them
money.
No. So if they are giving 50% less, if the man is bringing 50% less, that opens up another 50% to do something more.
Exactly.
So what does
Yeah.
he get in return of this 50%? Like, does he give us emotions? Does he give us contributions?
I think that's the bare minimum. Expecting emotions out of the man is bare minimum. I've been getting texts where guys are like, I want to take the effort and send hi. I'm like, that's the effort? Are you serious right now? And then I have...
Wait, do you think like their mothers are responsible? Like, do you think like upbringing is responsible for the way they behave?
See, I'm not going to necessarily say anything about parental influence because I've had friends who have had great parental influence, but they're still dicks. Because it's not that. Because at the end of the day, if you end up surrounding yourselves with the wrong kind of person, you still end up being the wrong kind of person, right?
Yeah.
So if I hung out constantly with women who are like, oh, I want to, let's say, be a housewife or blah, 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 right? Eventually that's going to start influencing me. And a part of my brain is going to think, maybe it's not that, like, maybe I could leave my career to become a housewife, you know? Yeah. Or maybe I could do both. So it's your surrounding influences. You know that quote, like, you are who you surround yourselves with, right? And when it comes to dating, I absolutely hate dating in Dubai because every single time I've gone on a date, it's either fantastic, it goes amazing. And then by date 2 and 3, it dulls down. So everything feels like love bombing, which slowly descends into nothing. Then there is just a whole other kind of category where they're like, let's hang out in my car for the entire time. Like, I know exactly what you're trying to get done in your car for the 1 hour that I'm there.
Oh my God.
I generally think that they think we're stupid.
I think so too.
100%.
So this is something known as signaling, where a man will show all his traits
Yeah.
to get the girl.
Mm.
Now, getting the girl is also such a high, right? Like they are supposed to be winning.
Yeah.
It's almost like a game,
It's
and they
a-
should be winning.
Honestly, I think that's high school mentality. Like I saw teenage boys in high school when I was going to school behave like, oh my gosh, she's so hot. I wonder who's gonna get her.
Yeah.
If you're a grown man who is in his 20s and you behave like that, go get a meeting with a therapist.
Yep. Thank you.
Don't sit with a woman, sit with a therapist, fix your shit,
Yeah.
and then come back to us.
But that's the thing. You're right. Like, it's the influencer of other men that allow this terrible bad behavior. So men, it's like a game, right? At the end of the
Yeah.
day, they want to make sure that they're winning.
Yeah.
They signal, they get all the
Who has the hottest girl?
yeah, they get the high, they get
Yeah.
the girl, and then they go back to like that least effort, not even bare minimum. They go back
Yeah.
to like, hey, I feel like I won, and now
Yeah.
the
Now I
next
don't need
chase-
to keep winning.
Yeah, I next chase
Yeah.
the next dopamine.
Yeah.
Right? And it's mostly not about the girl. Most of the times we women think it's about us. It's not really about us. We feel bad because we feel like we got rejected, like the woman
Yeah.
got rejected in this relationship. But women are not really rejected in the relationship. It's just that the man now needs another
Yeah.
chase, another catch, and it is a him problem. Like he has FOMO, he has lack of purpose.
Yeah.
He's being judged by other men
Mm.
because that's what they do. They make you other men
They make you feel bad about it. The thing is, and also I think to a certain extent it's our fault because we put men who give us bare minimum on such high pedestal. Oh, he opens the door for me. Oh, he gets me flowers. Bare minimum. I'm so sorry. I have been friends with women who have done more for me than a man has
Yeah.
in the totality of me dating him.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no way that and another issue is I keep hearing women go like, online dating can work because there was this girl and guy that met on online dating and now they're married. And then another person sends me a text going like, hey, Ash, don't be so like bothered by this because look at my friends. They also met online and they're married. You forget that they're not the rule. They're the exception.
I'm a product of an online relationship.
Exactly. And you're the exception.
Yeah.
Right?
Okay.
The rule is everyone that you meet on an online dating platform is looking for a short-term relationship. That's the entire rule, right? But there are people who become the exception because there are two people who meet at the right time who are looking for the exact same thing. And then they end up getting together and being married. But when you compare your experiences to someone who has gotten out of it successfully, it doesn't make sense. You're setting yourself up for failure, right?
So what should they do? I mean, like, should online dating not be a thing or what?
Honestly, I don't think there's any way. It's like currency. Like you expect traditional dating, but you don't live in a traditional era. You live in a digital era. So of course you're going to meet your man in a digital way. I'm just saying, tolerate less. That's my motto. Tolerate less. Man says something wrong, block.
Oh, okay.
Immediately. The lesser you start tolerating, I'm to a certain extent, I'm very spiritual. So I believe that if you tolerate certain things, you're going to keep getting it. So the moment you sort of go like, this is not the energy that I want, and you block them, you unmatch with them, I believe you're going to attract people who are right for you, right?
You know what? This seems like something that someone can do after they are experienced or after they have some knowledge.
Yeah.
So now, back to probably like 10 years ago, when I was just about figuring out like dating, I know that I missed a lot of red flags because I didn't know that they were red flags. Right? So now when it seems like, okay, this person said something about come home, let's cuddle. I'm like, dude, I know my worth. I'm not going to do this. You also need to prove if I need to prove. I'm out. But maybe back in the day, and okay, I don't need to like compare it to the past, but maybe some women just don't get it. So I think like sometimes we can't even see the red flags to spot the red flags to then do something about it.
But to be honest, I think
Yeah.
I genuinely think sometimes women, we are so desperate for that kind of love, that kind of affection, companionship, that we take anything. So
We
we are ready.
romanticize this
Yeah,
idea.
we start romanticizing like, oh, what if I cuddle with the guy and then the guy, we fall in love and then we get married? No, that's not going to happen. You're going to cuddle, you're going to fuck, and then he's never going to call you again.
100%.
That's what's going to happen. Because I hate the idea of trying to convince, I generally hate the idea of trying to convince myself that somewhere along the way, I'm going to find the one on a dating app. My ex-boyfriend and I met on a dating app, and we were so fundamentally different that eventually, as the relationship progressed, we realized how different we were. And eventually we had to break up because at the end of the day, the communication just wasn't there. Someone you meet online will have certain presumptions of you because they have built an idea of you that they want to follow.
Okay, so for me, it always feels like when you meet someone, so say today I met you and we have met for the first time. So today I meet you and I have a perception about you in my head. The problem that gets created is that I have held this perception of you so strongly, but you are still like showing me your personality and it doesn't match my perception.
Yeah.
I'm not changing this,
Yeah.
but I'm getting disappointed with you for being who you really are,
Yeah.
but not matching up to my expectation that I have created
Yeah.
of you without even knowing you.
Yeah.
Now, me not wanting to change the perception is what makes me bitter or like lack of communication,
Yeah.
and it creates a problem for me.
Because you've created this wall.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, this is who you are. Now you better match up to it. Like, then I
Exactly.
put the pressure on
Yeah.
you that you have to match up to what I believe
Yeah.
you are in my own head. And I think that's also what gets created with online dating, because you also want to
Yeah.
put your best foot forward.
Yeah.
And then if I'm showing you my best foot, I'm going to create that perception, and then you can't
Yeah.
match it because you could have a bad day. You
Yeah.
could be hormonally imbalanced. You could be at a different
Exactly.
period cycle.
So one of my friends, old friends, got in touch with me after this video started getting some attention, right? And he goes like, Tom Hardy once said, I can't stand the women, but gosh, I can't live without them. Something like that, right? And I was like, honestly, men don't know jack shit about what it's like to be a woman. And fundamentally, they'll never understand what it's like to be a woman. We are constantly changing. We're constantly evolving. Our hormones are all over the place. One thing goes wrong in our body and it affects our entire psychological system, right? And we barely know how we're feeling half the time. And if you find a woman that's communicative, that walks you through her emotions, and then you treat her with the bare minimum,
Yeah. Fuck that.
you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy. Don't come and tell me I'm too complex because you lack the capacity to understand who I could be.
Shut up. I love that.
I cannot deal with men.
I can't understand how men can be this stupid about like just understanding something as simple as hormonal imbalances or hormones. Like, come on, man. Like, I think now people need to learn this like at the age of 10.
And you were saying this point, right? Like, in a traditional sense, we're not educated enough. There is absolutely no excuse for you as a man or a woman to not be educated about dating or someone else's. Let's say if a man wants to know about a woman and he's like, women are just so complex. Read, Google, AI.
ChatGPT.
Exactly. Google has AI now. So if you search something, it gives you the direct answer based on searching everywhere else. You're dumb. Like that's the only thing.
That much effort you don't want to take
Exactly.
to actually Google how to be a better person.
Yep.
I mean, we're not even saying go spend money and go to therapy at this point. Just
No
Google. Like the phone is attached to your body.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Google. And another thing is they realize it so late. They realize it so fucking late what they've done. They do it. They're like, oh, I was just, I didn't know how to process it. So they run away, right?
Yeah. And then they create more damage for other women.
Exactly. They damage other. They create this chain of line, like this tree of damage. And then at the end, they're like, what I did was wrong, but I've taken accountability and I deserve forgiveness. What about all of the women you just traumatized?
Well, you know what? When you say I take accountability, they don't really take accountability. When you take
Some of them don't. Absolutely.
Yeah, when you take
Yeah.
accountability, it's not sorry. Sorry
Yeah.
is not the way you take accountability.
They say, I'm sorry, but I was going, no buts. No buts. I'm sorry I did that to you. I shouldn't have done that to you.
Yeah.
That's it. End your sentence there. Don't say, but I was struggling. No, honestly, I've come to a point where if some man is crying, literally bitch crying about some bland ass issue he's been having, like, oh, a girl broke my heart when I was a teenager. That's why I'm so closed off. I'm like, fuck you.
Yeah, this is not an
Fuck you.
excuse.
That means you, since your teenage years, you have not grown, evolved, processed, or healed from your traumas. You're probably going to be the same way for the rest of time. And then when I call them out, they're like, you're just like everyone else, not understanding at all. I'm like,
No, I don't need to understand.
yeah.
I'm not.
I
I'm
don't.
sorry. I'm not here understanding your trauma. If you don't want to understand your trauma, if you
Exactly.
have understood it, you're on your path of healing.
Mm.
I will then understand your healing.
Exactly.
I'm not supposed to just sit
Actions.
and understand your trauma. So I have this biggest problem with people that when they say, "Oh my God, this is a trigger for me." Why is it still a trigger for you? What are you not working on?
Yeah.
Yes, it can be a trigger for you, but what is the path of action? If you tell me,
Exactly.
listen, this is my insecurity, but I'm working on it, you must be not aware of
Yeah.
it. Show me a positive direction. Don't
Yeah.
just say, this is my trigger, I
Yeah.
don't like it.
If you
It's taking no responsibility.
there is absolutely no, because I've had friends and I've had, people, they're like, I'm sorry I did that to you. It's just because I have depression, ADHD, BPD, or whatever. That's why I have done that to you. I'm like, how are you fixing this?
Yeah.
How
What are you
fixing
doing about
this?
it? What are you doing about it?
I'm very open about mental health. I myself have BPD, and thankfully I have the greatest therapist in the world, and she helped me sort my shit out, like fix it a little bit, and because of which I'm able to regulate my emotions, right?
Yeah.
But imagine if I hurt your feelings and my first line of response is, I just have BPD, I tend to do that. Instead of, oh, I'm so sorry, I really didn't mean to do that. I'll never do that again. I need time to figure out why I went wrong there. And then I feel like I'll be able to, apologize to you.
Or make it better the next time.
Exactly. Because if you're doing the same thing again and again and again, and your only line of defense is, oh, I have this mental health issue,
then it's
you
an
are the
excuse.
problem. It's an excuse. You're using your mental health issue as a shield, as an excuse against all your wrongdoings. That makes no sense. That's us. Because in reality, if you've ever watched like any anti-hero or a villain, women fantasize about the villain because they're like, there was this one moment where he was like hopeful, and I just, at the end of the day, I think he's really hopeful inside, but he's still a bad guy.
No, but we also do like the bad boys. We like the villains. We like the projects.
That's
we like
on TV though.
Yeah. No, but no. There's a lot of women in real life that they love projects, man. They like the hope factor. Because even sometimes when the man is really safe, it can get a little boring. And we've also not been taught to understand the difference between safe and boring. Because they have the same characteristics.
I think the only reason a woman would look at a man and go like he's boring when he's actually a safe, secure man is if they grew up with the kind of trauma that doesn't allow them to appreciate stability because they've only experienced instability.
But that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Stability means that it's stable and there's no movement.
Exactly.
And that's also the same characteristics of boredom. So it's very hard to tell.
Honestly, I'm so sorry to interrupt you there. So I have this, I do social media management on the side, right? So I have this client, right? And she traveled all the way from Brazil till here. And she was telling me about herself. And she was like, I dated this guy before, and he was truly a horrible person to me. He was not a good guy. I was attracted to him because he was this charismatic person and bad boy type of man. But after him, I realized you choose the people you fall in love with.
Yeah.
I hate when nowadays I hate when people tell me, oh, you have love is blind. You have no choice who you fall for. No, absolutely not. You do have, because of course, you don't have a choice on who you fall for, but you have a choice to stay in love with that person.
Yeah.
And if you choose to stay in love with someone who is toxic towards you and not appreciating you, then at the end of the day, they're not the problem. You're the problem.
100%.
You're your own villain.
Yeah, I think it's also the victim mentality, right? When you say that, oh my God, this happened to me. And if you don't take control, you don't have control to make even change to it.
Yeah.
If you're just like, oh my God, this happened to me, then you'll just be suffering because you expect some other people to come and like repair this shit for you. So yeah, it is a very victim mentality thing. Take the power in your hand, make the change
100%.
yourself.
Yeah.
But yeah, you were telling me about the story. Do you have any other like dating stories that you wanted like? Anything?
So one of my followers, she saw my video and then she responded back saying that, I went on a date with this guy and he kept pushing me to come over to meet his friends and everything. And then when I went over there, they all started drinking and I generally just felt so unsafe because he wanted to spend some alone time with me in a room. And then I just like ran out of there. And I realized, and she goes like, generally it's so bad. You can't trust anyone. You can't really do anything. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
What? Because you know what happens? I don't blame her. I'm not saying anything that she made a mistake. I generally think that when you're put on spot and your response is either flight or fight, right? Sometimes the response can be stillness. Yeah. So when you become still, you end up saying yes to appease someone. And that's how you end up in these scenarios, which hurts you in the long run. So dating generally gets so worse because at what point does a guy find it logical to introduce the girl to a bunch of friends and start drinking?
And then trying to take her into a room. Yeah.
Exactly. How is that logical?
You know what? I feel like I have also heard a lot of these stories where the men around are playing it so cool, like this is so normal, and if you don't find this normal, the problem is probably you. So in that moment, a woman really feels like like she is the problem.
Yeah,
she is the reason why she's feeling uncomfortable. It's like because the guys around or the environment in that moment around has just normalized this. It also reminds me of there was this one time, and it again was like a Tinder match. It was this guy that was coming over to meet my friend, and it was my house. And it was my house. I have a habit of like entering the house and just leaving my bag right at the beginning, near the shoe rack. Everybody has that spot.
Yeah.
So I've just left the bag there, and then they've gone into the room. I have gone into the room. And then I've come out the next day and we had to go for brunch. And I'm like, okay, fine, we're ready. I have booked a cab, Uber. I have gone. I have paid online.
Yeah.
Or that time I don't even think we had online. So I think I had my card. My credit card was stuck behind. So I paid by my card.
Yeah.
And then I got into a cab and I'm back home and I opened my wallet to pay.
Yeah.
I had no money left in it. They had like 750 dirhams. And there was like barely like 10 dirhams left. And I was like, this is not possible. I barely have money. So the few times I do, I know I have it and I know I've not spent it. And of course, it was after a brunch, so I could not remember. It was boozy. I was like, what the fuck? What did I do? And then the next morning, I kind of put two and two together, saying that my wallet was out. There was this random guy in the house. Not as random, but like still new.
Yeah.
Dude, he fucking stole from my wallet.
Oh my God.
I literally,
because
like it's not
this
even
shocks you so much because you're like, because you would never do this.
You firstly you got some and then you stole some. Like what the hell, man?
There
are no morals, I'm telling you, for men now.
That's there, but I also hate when older people say that your generation is gonna have such a hard time because you want to have sex with other people. This with that. I'm like, first of all, no one gives a fuck about having sex with other people. Yeah. Right? Anyone who sits in front of you and tells you that if you slept with more than 5 people, you're a whore.
Yeah.
You're stupid. you're
Yeah.
stupid. You're
No, because
stupid.
I think that's that scene. Okay, so this is the last part. Okay.
Yeah.
There's that scene in Dear Zindagi, and I
Mm.
fully believe that, where he's like, you need to test drive. You need to sit on a chair before you buy it. You need to see how
Yeah.
comfortable you are. And I
Yeah.
feel like the women who haven't, because I have a lot of clients as
Yeah.
well, the women who haven't, they have really suffered because either the man, because he can't perform,
Yeah.
makes the woman feel like she's unattractive and she's not doing enough to seduce him or
Mm.
make the man want to have sex at
Yeah.
this point.
And the worst part is they do make you feel like you're the issue.
You're the problem.
Like, you're to this or you're to that. That's why I'm not able to do this.
But this is also our upbringing at the end of
Yeah.
the day. Like a very desi upbringing is like the girl needs to make sure that she's good and she's
Yeah.
satisfying everybody, and everybody needs to be happy because of
Yeah.
her and for her and from her.
And
It's a very
everyone's
narrative.
happiness should be her happiness. She cannot have her own happiness to depend on.
No, her happiness derives from the fact that she's making everyone happy.
Yeah,
There is
that's
no
what-
own happiness
Yeah.
at this point.
Exactly.
There's
It
no
sucks.
identity at this point. So it does get a little taxing, because
Yeah.
you can't break out of that so easily. Like, I know we're sitting here
can't.
and saying these random lines, and I
It's
understand how hard
easier
it
said
is.
than done. It's generally easier said than done. But
You
to
have
be
to
honest,
take accountability.
like the whole reason we're having this conversation isn't to bash men or say that men are bad, women are good. No. If you as a woman are struggling to be in a relationship, introspect. Look at yourself. What went wrong in my past relationships? How much was I at fault? Get therapy. I know therapy is
Yeah.
expensive. Get better help.
Get help.
Get better help. And then generally just take accountability.
Take
like, to a
accountability,
certain
man.
extent, I'm going to say this, like in my past relationship, I dealt with that. As long as I dealt with that, it is my fault.
Yeah.
When I knew that he couldn't give me what I wanted out of life, I should have left.
I know.
Yeah. But I'm the one that was super hopeful, and I stayed for almost 2 years. And
The hope
that's the
factor
problem.
is the
Yeah.
problem, right? And then once you
Yeah.
realize that the hope factor is only coming from a place that will make you feel good because
Exactly.
you fix someone else.
You're
and
being delusional.
yeah, and that validation does actually
Yeah.
nothing for you. It might give you like 2 minutes worth of happiness, but
Yeah.
eventually it exhausts you for like over 2 years, and it's
Yeah,
not.
it does.
It's not worth it.
Your entire body starts healing from all of that.
Huh.
Yeah. Your entire body is like healing from all of that. And it becomes a problem because it starts bleeding into your new relationships.
And it also starts affecting like your work, your relationship with your parents, your friends, and everything.
So if honestly, I just think women shouldn't be so blinded by love that they lose that logical aspect of their body. If a man is doing something wrong, if he makes you uncomfortable, if he does something that doesn't sit right with you, sit by yourself, look at that situation. And if, honestly, my motto is, if a guy behaves a certain way, I just go like, my future husband would never do that. And then enough, like I leave them. That's
manifesting. What you
That's
wanted.
manifesting. Exactly.
I love it.
Yeah.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm so sorry, but we're short of time. But
No
it was
worries.
amazing. Thank you for all your insights. And it's also really like, honestly, I'll just be very true about it. It's very interesting to see the younger generation take this bold step, because we did take these steps initially and we were really confused. Like as a millennial, I was very confused. Why am I standing up for rights that I'm not even sure I should be having or I need to have? And what do I do with these rights? Right? So then when you see the younger generation like fucking take stride and like, you know what? I'm going to make something of myself. It feels amazing. So I'm actually really enjoying seeing the change in the dating life and learning more about it from you guys, but love it. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Please follow Aish and her pages. We'll be putting it over here. Please like, follow, subscribe, and we'll be back for the next one. See you.